Paradox, oh paradox, oh most ingenious paradox. This paradox.
Hello everybody, Dr. Sam Zaranovich here. Hi. Today I want to talk a little bit about a philosophy of healing and care that I work to embody in my practice, and I want to offer to you as a way of thinking about healing and well-being and health and growing that's a little more cohesive than just if you have something broken we should fix it, but has more to do with how you as a whole being can heal and grow. And so where I want to start with that is about trauma. I'm going to do a whole separate video, maybe a couple of them, on what trauma is and different kinds of traumas. But let's sort of operate from the assumption that we all have at least some idea about what trauma is. It's that injury that you keep coming back to that affects the way things unfold from that point forward. And I want to talk about this weird paradox in healing that when we are addressing trauma, we have to do two things that seem totally contradictory. One is take it really seriously, that this is a big thing that happened that is continuing to affect your life. Often a trauma is an old thing that even in the present has a big impact. And so that's serious and that's big and needs to be treated with respect and reverence. And at the same time, one of the best tools that I have found for addressing trauma, transforming trauma, incorporating and integrating the traumatic things that have happened into our lives in a whole and complete way is to be really playful with our traumatized parts and our traumatized selves, and to be able to bring a sense of, I don't want to say silliness, but whimsy, a sense of whimsical play, a lightheartedness to these really serious things. If we can straddle that line between, yes, I take this seriously, this is important, it needs to be addressed, but can you play with it? Can you keep it moving? Can you keep it in a game? If we can straddle that line, our brains get to incorporate what happened into our story in a more complete way. And instead of it being like, I have to continue to be incredibly careful with how I approach every part of my life because I'm so on guard against that thing happening again, I can never allow that to happen again. And if we can move from that into, that was a terrible thing that happened in the past, and it will always be a part of my past, but it doesn't have to be an incredibly present part of my life now. And that's really what the power of play is about. That's why I started a conversation about the importance of imagination. I'll link to that. But imagination is a piece of play. And the big picture for my clinical work that I'm doing with people, for the self-care pieces, even from the philosophical, just let's talk about culture and life and bodies and healing, which is really what we're in here. From all of those perspectives, for me, one of the crucial elements to always bring is a sense of playfulness. If we can play with it, we can change it. It's kind of like that Mr. Rogers quote, if it's mentionable, it's manageable. This is a similar idea. If you can keep it in play, it can change. If you think back to when you were a kid, or if you've ever watched kids, or if you've had kids and you've seen them at play, they're often really concentrating. They're working really hard on learning something, developing coordination, developing new skills, learning how to connect with other people. They're integrating their experiences into a bigger picture of who they are. And so play is really powerful and really important, and there's a whole bunch of research, and I'll give a little of that to you as well in the down there thing. But play is really integral in our ability to transform our experiences from that was this horrible thing that I must not ever allow to happen again, into that was a terrible thing that happened in the past, but I can still have joy in my life now without being constantly on guard. If you have ever found yourself able to play with, joke about, tell a fun story, or play a game that incorporated something difficult, traumatic, stressful from your past, and found that it has changed something about the way you feel in your life now, would you please let me know either in the comments, or if it's too personal, just send me an email or a direct message. I would love to hear about your experience of play bringing more of your life into focus in a positive way. Thanks, that's it for today, and we'll talk to you soon.